So, did you know that selecting the wrong payment processor for your business could cost you time? It could cost you money. It could also cost you your credibility in your business. Yeah, tonight in our 15 minutes of fire, we're going to talk about the different payment processing systems that are out there and hopefully give you some information to help you make the best decision for your business. So, before we get started, I want to make sure that you have saved a date for our upcoming strategy session, which is going to be on January the 7th, 2023, where I am hosting a virtual strategy session for business owners who are looking to build a business that's on your vision board. So if you are struggling with creating strategy or just understanding what things you need to put in place to be able to take your business to the next level, this strategy session might be for you. And I would recommend that you join our mailing list because we're actually going to be sending out the invitations to join the strategy session in the next couple of days. So you want to join the strategy, you want to join our mailing list, and I'll put the link in the comments for you to join our mailing list so that you can get an invitation to our strategy session. So, if you don't know me, I am Bernadette L. Harris. I'm the founder of this group and the CEO of the BTB Advisory Firm, where we work with small businesses, helping them to stay in business. I am very excited because at the BTB Advisory Firm, we get to work very intimately with businesses and business owners who are committed to taking their business to the next level. And that could be with our bookkeeping services, controller services, CFO services, and unfortunately sometimes with forensic accounting. You can find out more about our company at the BTB Advisory Firm. So let's jump in. We're going to talk about payment processes, right? So a payment processor by definition just essentially means this is a way that you collect payment, a way that you get paid in your business. And because we live in a world that is global, we live in a world that is virtual and digital, we have to have a way to be able to take payments online because not everybody is going to be walking into our place of business and handing us cash. I know, and if I am your customer, I'm never going to have cash. I rarely ever, I won't say never, I rarely ever have cash. And so because I rarely ever have cash, I am always apt to do business with business owners who accept some other way of payment, credit card processing and things like that. So I want to talk to you about the different types of processing systems that are out there and just ways that you can accept credit cards or credit card payments in your business. And let's kind of talk about what's best practices. Now, the first thing that I want to make sure that is very, very clear, when you are in business, you want to make it easy for people to pay you. You want to make it easy for people to give you money. There's nothing that I dislike more than to work with a business and you got to jump through all of these hoops to give them money. I'm not doing that. If I have to go through a whole lot of steps or a whole lot of this, a whole lot of that to give you money, chances are I'm going to somebody else. I'm just going to do business with somebody else. I am of the mindset of I only do business with businesses that take credit cards. So like if you don't take credit cards, chances are I'm not going to do business with you because I just don't walk around with cash, and going to the ATM to get cash is an inconvenience for me. And so I'm going to want to do business with somebody that's doing. And then again, because we're virtual, I do business with people all over the country and the world, honestly. And so nobody got time to be mailing checks, right? And waiting for stuff to. So I always want to do business with somebody. And I think that is something that a lot of other business owners are going to be looking for too when it's time to do business. So there are different types of payment processing systems. So there's what's called a merchant account. Merchant account is an account that allows you to accept credit and debit cards depending on the type of business that you have. Merchant accounts are usually created or you apply for them through a bank or sometimes a merchant account company, right? So you get an account set up. You may get an account with your bank. They may have merchant account services at the bank. and it allows you to set up merchant accounts. Now, I can remember, I've been in business now for almost 21 years, and I can remember, like, in the beginning stages of doing my business, getting a merchant account was grueling. It was a process. Like, there was an underwriting process. It was essentially approval process. If your credit score wasn't a certain level, you couldn't get approved for a merchant account. It's lightened up a lot lately, but it's not as hard. And I think the reason that it's lightened up so much is because third party services like PayPal and Stripe and Square, they all came to the scene, and setting up those kinds of accounts is something that takes minutes, if not seconds. You can literally create a Square account, create a Stripe account, create a PayPal account very easily. And those are like third party merchant account services. So they're not directly merchant account services because you don't have to go through the underwriting part or the underwriting process, but they do allow you to have the benefits and features of a merchant account. And then you have stuff like Venmo and CashApp, which are peer-to-peer platforms, and they are not necessarily merchant accounts. They are peer-to-peer platforms. In their intent, when they were started, the intent was to use it to send money from peer to peer, person to person. You and I go out to dinner. I don't have cash, but you do. The restaurant won't split the check, so I say, hey, I'll put it on my Amex, and you can just Venmo me. I don't have Venmo, or you can Zelle me or Cash App me or whatever your share of the bill, right? That is the intent of those kind of platforms. Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, they were intended for those types of transactions. Or, hey girl, can you loan me $100 until Friday until I get paid? I gotta pay for such and such, and I don't have the money. I won't have it until Friday. And so I Cash App you $100, and on Friday when you get paid, you Cash App me back my $100. So those platforms were designed for that, right? And then came the abuse, because people started using Cash App and Venmo and Zelle and all of that in business transactions because they didn't want to pay the merchant account fees, right? And so now we've gotten to the point where it's like, okay, we're gonna report all of these payments no matter what, whether you are using it for business or personal. If you do over $600 in transactions, you're gonna get a 1099-K for everything that happens on your account. So that's whether you have Cash App, you have a merchant account through your bank, whether you have PayPal, whether you have PayPal or any of those kind of things, right? You will get a 1099. And so you want to make sure that if you're using these things for business, that you're keeping good records. And we're going to talk about these in a second. I'm going to go through some of the payment processing systems and then talk about some of the pluses and minuses to them and some things that you have to consider. So merchant accounts, again, were designed for this. They were designed for you to be able to take credit cards, for you to get paid with a credit card, and they've always reported credit card payments to the IRS, and so there's nothing new there, right? The pluses to that is that you can take credit cards. Like, again, if I am dealing with a merchant, if they take credit cards, it's going to increase the likelihood that I actually do business with them. I can remember when I used to have to go get my daughter's hair braided, and I was finding like braiding shops. One of my first questions is, do you take credit cards? Because if they didn't take credit cards, chances are I'll probably find another braiding shop. I was looking for a business that was going to be able to, I was going to be able to pay with my credit card. And so merchant accounts, having merchant accounts and accepting credit cards is a way to increase your business income, because when you accept credit cards, people are more likely to spend money with you. And if your customer is somebody like me who loves to get points, so I love using my Amex because then I use my points to stay in hotels, right, and take flights, right? And so you get somebody that loves to use their credit card so that they can get points, they will probably spend more money with you because they're trying to get points and they like to use their credit card. So that's a merchant account. That's the pluses to using a merchant account. The minus is that you will have to pay fees on a merchant account. So if somebody pays you $100, you're not going to get $100. You're going to get like $97 and some change, right? And some people don't want to pay the fees. And I honestly don't get that. I really don't get that, because I would rather have 97% of something than 100% of nothing. And so you will miss out on a sale because you don't take credit cards. I can remember actually when I was at homecoming a couple of weeks ago, a lot of the vendors who were selling stuff didn't take credit cards. And I didn't think to get cash to be able to pay people, vendors and all of that stuff. And so there were vendors that I would have loved to support, but I wasn't able to support them because they didn't take credit cards. And so not accepting credit cards is a way to really kind of shoot yourself in the foot and cut down on your sales, because people who pay with credit cards, they usually spend more money. So then if you use like a payment processing third party system like Square or Stripe or PayPal, I'm going to put Square and Stripe in the same category, and then I'm going to talk about PayPal separately because I got some issues with PayPal, right? So Square and Stripe, honestly, I think they're great platforms, especially Stripe. Well, both of them are really great platforms. The rates are relatively the same. Nobody really has competitive rates, in my opinion, when it comes to merchant accounts. Everybody is somewhere around 2.93%. Everybody is pretty much paying like 3% once you pay the transaction fees and all of that. But again, you're gonna pay me $100, I'll take $97 versus $0, and you can take $3 for making this convenient for me and putting this money in my account. I don't have to ever go to the bank. I haven't been to the bank in years. And so taking credit cards is one of those things where it allows you to be able to do that and be able to be efficient in business. Like literally, I don't know the last time I walked into a bank, but I get deposits. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the deposits happen because I have a merchant account. So Square and Stripe are just like that. They're systems where I think Square actually pays out a little bit faster than Stripe. So Square is set up to where if you receive a payment by 8 Eastern, you usually get the deposit of that money the next day, whereas Stripe is more like 2 days. But again, not too bad, unless those 2 days kind of fall around a holiday or a weekend, then it might seem a little bit longer. Now, PayPal. I am a little biased. I will say this. PayPal is not my friend. I do not like PayPal for multiple reasons. I don't like PayPal because PayPal acts like a bank, but it's not a bank, right? So they have like fake bank tendencies. They act like a bank. They're not a bank. So since they're not a bank, they're not regulated like a bank. And PayPal does some gangster stuff. I was about to say the other word. So yeah. So PayPal does some gangster things when it comes to payment processing. PayPal is really good about holding funds and making you wait to get your money. PayPal is also, I only use PayPal when I'm using it as a consumer because it is very consumer friendly. So with PayPal, if somebody pays you on PayPal and then they dispute the transaction, PayPal is 9 times out of 10 going to side with the customer. Even you can send them a whole book of proof that you provided the service, you gave them the product, whatever the case. I have seen it where they will side with the customer. That's one of the reasons I don't like PayPal. Second reason is their little gangster stuff where they actually hold money. Years ago, I used to sell jewelry. It was a fun, like a passion project for me. I was honestly selling jewelry because I liked the jewelry, and I was working on handling rejection. I wanted to find healthy ways to handle rejection. And so it was a great experiment. And I was selling jewelry. I used to do jewelry parties, and I was using PayPal to process my credit card payments. So this one time I did a jewelry party, I forgot to take my little swiper with me, so I had to key in the credit card payments. Well, because they were keyed in, they thought it was fraud, and they held my money for 21 days. So they sent me an email saying, oh, we're going to hold. They didn't hold all of it, but they held most of it. They said, we're going to hold this for 21 days. And surely they won't hold it for 21 days. That's ridiculous. They held my money 21 days to the minute. I was like done with them after that. Like I just did not even fool with PayPal. Then when I think about it from the accounting perspective, I don't like reconciling PayPal because their bank statements, like I said, they act like a bank, they look like a bank, but they're not a bank. And their bank statements or their statements are terrible. And so as an accountant, when we're reconciling books and getting people's books in order, if a client has PayPal, I'm charging them extra. Cause it's almost like, think about that kid that has the really thick hair and you gotta charge them extra because it takes you an hour to detangle it. That's what PayPal is like. So I'm not really a huge fan of PayPal for those reasons. Again, I only use PayPal when I am purchasing something because I know I'm going to be protected as a consumer. I don't feel protected as a merchant, so I don't fool with PayPal. Anybody wants to pay me on PayPal, that's a no. That's a fast, hard no. No, I do not accept PayPal payments for my accounting firm. You could pay me through my merchant account, and that's it, right? Now, Cash App. Let me just, listen, y'all. Cash App. I am not a fan of business owners that take cash out, but I recognize that there are some demographics in some industries where taking cash out is just the best way for you to take payments. I get that, right? The reason that I'm not a fan of Cash App is because most people who use Cash App to take credit cards, it's a commingling kind of thing. And if you didn't watch my video on commingling, go back and watch it, right? So you have somebody that uses Cash App, then you got your little Cash App debit card. So you're using your debit card and you're using it for both business and personal. You have just created an accounting nightmare for yourself, right? So if you are in an industry where Cash App is just accepted, it is something where, you know, your clientele, your client base, your ideal client, this is what they use. My suggestion to you is keep it clean. Keep it clean. I'm a vice president of the Metro Atlanta Alumni Chapter, and we take Cash App payments for like our dues or when people make donations to the organization. The way that we keep it clean is we don't use that Cash App account to do anything but collect payments. So as soon as a payment is made, that money is transferred over to the account where we actually write checks and all that kind of stuff, right? And so that's one of the ways that we keep it clean. So if you are using Cash App, then you know you wanted to. I'm personally not a fan of Cash App. I was actually a victim of some identity theft related to Cash App. Somebody created a Cash App that was similar to my name. So my Cash App is Bernadette Harris. They created a Cash App that said Bernadette Harris and they put 2 S's on Harris. Most people won't notice that, right? So they created a Cash App with my name with 2 S's, and then they started asking people for money. And I was getting text messages from my friends saying, "Hey girl, are you okay?" And I'm like, y'all already know I do not send Cash App requests. I send invoices, boo. No, that is not me. But it was pretty scary and frightening, like that somebody would do that. And after that, it's like I don't fool with Cash App. In fact, what I did was I have a separate account. I have 2 checking accounts at my bank account, and the account that's connected to my Cash App, I keep 1 penny in that account. And when I need to put money in Cash App, I just transfer it from my main checking account to the Cash App. So if I need a Cash App $30 to somebody, I'll transfer $30 to that account with the penny, and then put it in Cash App, because I don't want that account that's connected to Cash App to be connected to all my money. And so that's just one of the ways that I've protected myself. And again, I've seen business owners. I had 2 clients that were using Cash App, and when we started doing their books and I started asking all these questions and we had to go back and forth and it was a real painful process, both of them was like, look, no more Cash App. We're not ever doing anything else on Cash App, because it was a nightmare for us to untangle that weave, that web that was made with Cash App. So all I'm saying is you want to make it easy for your customers to pay you, but you also want to think about what is it going to cost you on the accounting side, whether you're doing your own accounting or somebody is doing it for you. What is it going to cost you to maintain these type of Cash App accounts? So I hope this information was helpful. I feel like we might have gone over a little bit tonight, but thank you guys for sticking it out with me tonight. We won't be here next week, but I will see you after that, right? So enjoy your Thanksgiving. Y'all didn't tell me what you were eating, so let me know what you're eating for Thanksgiving, and I will see you the next time. Again, I'm Bernadette L. Harris. This is our 15 Minutes of Fire. I'm here every Wednesday giving you some tips to help you be efficient in your business. I will see you guys next time. Have a good night.